Hello everyone. The next module under environmental studies is forest resource. So I'm here, Dr. N. Saranya, Associate Professor and Head, Department of Biotechnology. So you all know about forest, right? The forests are not only essential for biodiversity and also balances the climate. It also shapes our culture, economy and livelihood. So this forest, we are going to explore the diverse and dimension of forests together. So we are going to see what are the forest types and global distribution of forest and what are the forest products and ecological functions in this module. Let's join together and see the topic. Yes. What is forest? You all know about forest, right? Yes, forest are vast ecosystem which covers with trees, undergrowth and wildlife. It occupies nearly about 31% of Earth's land area. That is according to FAO 2020. Yes, forest provides energy, oxygen, timber and also serves as in critical regulations for climate. It also serves as a homes for millions of species and which contributes to the culture and the foundation of biodiversity and traditional and local economies. The major significance of forest. You all know about as the forest covers 31% of Earth's land area. It regulates climate and rainfall. It also absorbs carbon dioxide and releases oxygen. It helps to prevent soil erosion and flood. So it provides 80% of terrestrial species. Let's see about global distribution of forest. Yes, you all know forests are unevenly distributed across the globe. The five most important forest-rich countries are Russia, Brazil, Canada, USA and China. The tropical forests like Amazon and Congo are biodiversity hotspot and boreal forest dominates Canada, Scandinavia and Russia, while the temperate forests are found in USA, Europe and Japan. The forest covers in India. In India, the forest covers of about 21.71 of country's geographical area, as per Forest Survey in India 2023. However, our nation targets towards 33% of under the National Forest Policy, like Madhya Pradesh, Arunachal Pradesh, Chhattisgarh have the largest forest cover area. So India boasts a wide range of forest type from tropical to alpine and mangrove forests. You can see different types of forest in India. So India's forests are incredibly diverse. The tropical evergreen forests thrive the Western Ghats and Northeast Asia. The deciduous forests dominate central India and arid states like Rajasthan have thorn forest, while mangrove forest flourishes in Sundarbans. The Himalaya hosts cool mountain forests and each forest types support unique flora and fauna. Now let us see what are the products out of it the forest produce. The forest produce variety of products like timber trees like tea, sal and pine which is commercially valuable and non-timber forest products which includes medicinal plants like neem and amla as well as bamboo, cane and gum, honey etc which are from the leaves. The forest also provide an essential ecosystem which serves like water regulation and soil protection. Here comes the ecological functions of forest. Yes, the most important and vital role of forest is sequencer of carbon, mitigating climate change. The forest root anchors the soil and preventing erosion. Throughout their transpiration, they also maintain water cycle and influences the rainfall. Forest also a home to need of 80% of terrestrial species and offer protection from flood and landslides. Forest supports over 200 millions of the people globally. The forestry is a key contributor to GDP, especially in developed nations, and people find employment in logging and collecting non-timber forest products and ecotourism. Forest exports the woods like timber, herbs, and handicrafts, which is economically significant. What is the socio-economical roles of forest? The forest are deeply embedded in social and cultural life. Yes, indigenous community which depends on them for food, shelter, and medicine. The scarred groves which hold a spiritual and ecological values. The forest are central to tribal customs and also Indian mythology. The Chipko movement is one of the powerful example of cultural based conservation. Deforestation. You all know about deforestation of lands? Yes? Yes, of course. The eliminating all the trees is the cause. What is the major cause of deforestation? It's driven by various human activities. So the agriculture expansion, which includes shifting of cultivation and cash crops, it is a major cause. And legal and illegal logging and urbanization and infrastructure projects, which roads and dams and also forest fires and overgrazing, which also contribute to the forest loss. Here you can see all the effects of deforestation. The consequence of deforestation, so which is very much alarming, and it accelerates the climate changes by releasing carbon dioxide, the wildlife losses like nature habitat, which leads to biodiversity loss and soil erosion, and which also increases the soil erosion and loss of their homes, livelihoods, and human wildlife conflicts, which is also become more frequent. There are most common methods for conservation of forest, like with afforestation and reforestation, agroforestry, which is combining of crops in the forest, active fire control, and protecting areas like national parks and sanctuaries, which also help to conserve the biodiversity, and replacing the woods with eco-friendly alternative and also reduce the pressure on the forest. Here you can see some of the initiatives by our government, like a National Forest Policy in the year 1988, which emphasized the participation of peoples among the awareness of the forest, and Forest Conservation Act and Compensatory Afforestation Act in the year 2016, which is a key legislation structure, and camp funds, which is also used for Green India mission, which promotes afforestation and climate changes. So these are some of the important government initiatives taken by our government. So it is in Joint Forest Management, so JFM. It is launched in the year 1990. So it is a collaborative effort between the Forest Department and local community. So which helps to protect the forest, plantation and eco development. So over 85,000 of JFM committees which actively involved in the community based conservation efforts. Here you can see about different roles of NGOs and international bodies. So there are different international bodies like WWF, Greenpeace, and ATREE and CRP Environmental, which plays a major role in forest conservation. The international ecosystem, which efforts, which includes the reducing deforestation, so which also helps in convention on biological diversity. The United Nations Sustainable Goal Development, which helps to life on land. So what are the important technical tools which is used for management of forest? So there are different techniques which aids for forest monitoring, which also helps in remote sensing, and GIS, which is used for forest mapping. So drones, which also used to detect the forest fires and illegal logging, and biodiversity database is maintained. So this database which helps us to maintain the ecological records, and also the tools like ISRO, Forest Watch, and AI-based monitoring enhances the surveillance and data-driven decision. So these are the normal techniques which was used as an advanced tool for forest management. So here you can see about the case study is Chipko movement. So it was started in the year 1973. The Chipko movement started in Uttarakhand. So the villagers led by Sundarlal Bhaguna and Gaurav Devi and hacked the trees to stop the logging. And this is a grassroots campaign which gains the national attention, which inspires the environmental awareness and which also influences the forest policy across India. So this is the one of the case study. You can take different case studies like that and you can write a report. So you can see the survey of forest. So the survey is taken in India, which highlights the biannual assessments, the forest, which is classified based on the canopy density into very dense and moderately dense open forest. So these surveys helps us to track the progress of afforestation and identify the areas at risk of degradation. So these are the challenges in forest management. The balancing and also faces several challenges like balancing development with conservation is a key issue and illegal logging and timber mafias, which also remains a threat, and invasive species like lanta, which disrupts a native ecosystem. The governance is affected by a political influence and also climate-induced stress on ecosystem. So these are the major challenges which we face across the management of forest. So we came to an end. So to conclude about the forest resource, the forest or planet's life and support system. They sustain ecological balance and boost the economy and enrich our culture. The conservation calls of collective action from the government, communities and individuals. So the forest is the lungs of our land, which purifies the air, giving freshness and strength to our peoples. So conserve today for better tomorrow. Let us join together to the save forest. So the textbooks and reference book is given here to know much about forest resource. Thank you once again for watching with me. Thank you all so much.